She was Atlanta's most sought-after matchmaker. She'd created perfect love stories for hundreds of people. But tonight, standing in that gleaming ballroom, Solène Baptiste was about to kiss a man she'd never met before, and it would either rescue her reputation or shatter everything she'd spent years building. His hand rested against her lower back. His mouth was a breath away from hers, and her ex-boyfriend was staring. "Follow my lead," the stranger murmured in a voice like velvet and smoke. Solène's career hung in the balance. She had 30 seconds to choose, 30 seconds before everything in her world shifted irreversibly. That afternoon, the Biltmore Atlanta ballroom gleamed like something out of a fairy tale. Crystal chandeliers, cream roses everywhere, champagne fountains casting prismatic light across polished floors. Solène Baptiste stood near the entrance, her burgundy gown standing out against all the white and gold. She glanced at her phone again. Still nothing. Dante, the professional escort from Companion Hire, should have arrived 15 minutes ago. "Breathe," she told herself quietly. "He's just late." But her pulse was racing. All around her, 17 couples moved through the reception with the kind of ease that only comes from genuine connection. She'd brought every single pair together. Marcus and Vanessa Chen were sharing their first dance as husband and wife, holding each other like they'd never let go. Solène had built an empire on creating these moments, yet she couldn't seem to create one for herself. "Solène Baptiste," the voice cut through her anxiety like ice. She turned slowly. Tristan Hayes stood before her in an immaculate tuxedo, his expression smug. Her ex-boyfriend, the best man, the entire reason she'd hired a fake date tonight. "Tristan," her voice stayed level. "Cool, gorgeous wedding. Where's this boyfriend of yours?" He moved closer, his cologne too strong. "Heard you were bringing someone special tonight." His date, a woman with platinum hair whose name Solène had forgotten, giggled behind him. "He's finding parking," Solène said without missing a beat. "Downtown traffic, you know how it is." "Right." Tristan's laugh carried across the room. "Come on, Solène. We both know you showed up alone. Again." Heat spread across her cheeks. People were starting to notice. Marcus Chen caught her eye from the dance floor, concern written on his face. Her phone vibrated. She looked down and her stomach dropped. Dante from Companion Hire. Severe food poisoning. "Can't make it tonight. Full refund processing. So sorry, this couldn't be happening." Tristan kept talking, his voice deliberately loud. "I've been telling everyone the truth about you, that the great matchmaker can't even find love for herself. The irony is just, sorry I'm late, baby." The voice came from directly behind her, male, deep, with an accent that turned every syllable into something dangerous and beautiful. Before Solène could react, a hand settled on her waist, warm and certain. She spun around and forgot how to breathe. The man standing there was devastating. Tall, easily 6'3", with black hair swept back from features that belonged in films, sharp jawline, full mouth, dark eyes that seemed to read her soul. Korean, with a presence that commanded the entire room. "Traffic was a nightmare," he said, his gaze locked on hers. "I hope you weren't worried." Solène's mind went blank. Who was this man? But his hand pressed gently against her waist, sending a silent message. "Trust me." "I know, I'm just glad you made it," she managed. The stranger's smile could have melted steel. He turned to Tristan, extending his free hand. "You must be Tristan Hayes. Solène's mentioned you." Tristan's expression flickered between confusion and suspicion. "I don't think we've been introduced." "Kang-Dae Ryeo," the stranger said. His handshake looked like it hurt. "Solène's boyfriend." The words seemed to echo through the entire ballroom. Tristan's date whispered something that sounded like, "Oh my God." Tristan recovered quickly, his smile turning sharp. "Interesting. Solène never said anything about you, and we talk often." "We keep our private life private," Kang-Dae said, his hand sliding possessively around Solène's waist, drawing her against him. Solène doesn't like mixing her professional world with her personal one. Something about maintaining boundaries. He said it like he'd had this exact conversation with her a dozen times. Solène's heart was hammering so hard she was sure everyone could hear it. "How long have you two been together?" Tristan demanded. 7 months, Kang-Dae answered immediately. Though honestly, it feels like longer. You know how it is when you meet the right person. Time becomes irrelevant. He looked down at Solène, and the warmth in his eyes was so convincing that for a heartbeat she forgot this was all pretend. "Isn't that right, love?" Solène nodded, unable to find words. Tristan's jaw clenched. "What line of work are you in, Kang-Dae?" "International commerce, import and export operations." Kang-Dae's tone was casual, almost bored. "But that's tedious conversation. I'd rather talk about what Solène does. Did you know she's created over 200 successful matches, including tonight's bride and groom?" He pitched his voice loud enough for nearby guests to hear. Several people turned, smiling. "She's remarkable," Kang-Dae continued, his thumb drawing slow circles against Solène's hip. "Beautiful, brilliant. The kind of woman who transforms lives just by walking into a room." Solène's throat tightened. These were words she dreamed of hearing from Tristan 3 years ago when they were still together. Tristan's face was turning crimson. "Well, I should. One more thing." Kang-Dae's voice dropped lower. "Dangerous. Solène told me you've been spreading stories about her, calling her undateable." Tristan went completely still. "Let me be absolutely clear," Kang-Dae said, his smile vanishing. "The only person who failed to see Solène's value was you, and that reveals everything about your character and nothing about hers." The silence that followed was sharp as broken glass. Then Kang-Dae turned away, dismissing Tristan like he didn't exist. "Would you like to dance?" he asked Solène softly. She nodded, not trusting herself to speak. Kang-Dae guided her onto the floor. His hands found her waist, hers settled on his shoulders. They moved together like they'd been doing this for years. "Who are you?" Solène whispered. "Your appointment," Kang-Dae said simply. "The matchmaking service your assistant used sent me." Solène blinked. I hired someone from Companion Hire." Something shifted in Kang-Dae's expression. "I don't know what Companion Hire is. My aunt runs a traditional Korean marriage coordination service. She told me I had an appointment tonight with a matchmaker named Solène Baptiste." "Oh God, there's been a mix-up. Clearly," Kang-Dae's lips curved. "But you looked like you needed assistance. And I didn't appreciate how that man spoke to you." The music swelled around them. Solène knew she should pull away, apologize, explain everything. But Kang-Dae was looking at her like she was the only person in the entire world. And when the song ended, when they stopped moving, Solène did something completely out of character. She kissed him, rose up on her toes, and pressed her mouth to his. It was meant to be gratitude, a thank you for the rescue, but Kang-Dae kissed her back, and it wasn't grateful at all. It was claiming. His hand cupped the back of her neck. His lips moved against hers with skill that made her forget where they were. When they finally separated, Solène was dizzy. "Thank you," she breathed. Kang-Dae's eyes were almost black. "You're very welcome. Before we go any further, can I ask where in the world you're watching from? Drop a comment below because we'd absolutely love to know how far these stories reach. And hit that subscribe button for more incredible stories. I'd really appreciate it. All right, thank you. Let's dive back in." They ended up in Kang-Dae's car, the most luxurious Mercedes Solène had ever seen. The driver opened the door wordlessly. Solène sank into leather seats that smelled like expensive cologne and mysteries. Kang-Dae settled beside her, close enough that she could feel his warmth. "Where can I take you?" he asked. "Midtown, Peachtree and 10th. Solène's hands twisted together in her lap. I need to explain what happened. Kang-Dae's tone was amused. My aunt has been attempting to arrange my marriage for 2 years. She operates a very traditional Korean matchmaking service. When she mentioned I had an appointment with Atlanta's premier matchmaker, I assumed she'd orchestrated another introduction. I'm so sorry, Solène said quickly. I thought you were from Companion Hire. It's a service where you can hire professional escorts for events like weddings. Clever, Kang-Dae said, not sounding offended. Though I have to ask, why did you need a fake boyfriend? Solène stared out at Atlanta's skyline glittering in the darkness. Tristan, my ex. He's been telling people I'm undateable. That I can't find love for myself. Tonight was supposed to prove him wrong. By hiring a professional, Kang-Dae said quietly. By showing up with someone impressive enough that people would stop feeling sorry for me. The admission tasted bitter. Kang-Dae was silent for a long moment. What if, he said slowly, we helped each other? Solène turned to look at him. What do you mean? My family wants me settled. Married. Your ex is damaging your reputation. What if we continued this charade? You mean fake a relationship? For how long? A few months, Kang-Dae said. Until my family stops the pressure and your reputation is secure again. Solène laughed, but it sounded shaky. That's insane. Is it? Kang-Dae tilted his head. You create relationships professionally. This would simply be a business arrangement with defined parameters. I don't even know you, Solène protested. Then we'll learn about each other, Kang-Dae said. Unless you'd prefer Tristan continue spreading lies about you being alone and desperate. Solène's hands clenched. 3 months, Kang-Dae offered. We attend family events, make some public appearances, make it look authentic. Then we have an amicable separation. Why would you do this for me? Kang-Dae's gaze held hers. Because Tristan was right about one thing. You are extraordinary, and someone needs to tell you that. The car stopped outside Solène's building. Kang-Dae pulled out a business card, heavy stock, minimalist design. Just a phone number. Think about it, he said quietly. Call me when you decide. Solène took the card, her fingers trembling. She walked to her apartment and sat in the dark on her couch. A fake relationship for 3 months with a complete stranger. It was ridiculous, unprofessional, possibly dangerous. Then her phone buzzed. An unknown number. For what it's worth, that kiss felt very real to me. Solène stared at the message. Then she typed back. When do we start? They met at a restaurant in Buckhead. The kind of establishment with white linens and menus that didn't list prices. Kang-Dae ordered in rapid Korean, then turned to Solène with a smile. I hope you enjoy seafood. Love it. Solène pulled out her laptop. I drafted a contract. Kang-Dae's eyebrows lifted. A contract? I'm a professional, Solène said, opening the document. If we're doing this, we need clear boundaries. I'm listening. Solène read from the screen. Duration, 3 months from today. Public appearances as needed, with 24 hours notice when possible. Physical affection, hand-holding, casual touching, light kissing acceptable in public settings. Private boundaries, separate residences, no intimacy beyond what's necessary for appearances. Kang-Dae leaned back in his chair. You've given this serious thought. I build relationships, real honest. This is, Solène hesitated. This is different. What about finances? We split costs for dates and events. No gifts over $100. I disagree, Kang-Dae said. Solène blinked. Excuse me? When we're engaged, not if. When we'll need a ring. My mother will expect one within a month. She's traditional. She'll want to meet your family. She'll ask about wedding plans. Solène's stomach dropped. I didn't consider... That's why I'm telling you now, Kang-Dae said. I'll manage my family. But you need to be prepared. This won't be casual dates. It will be deeper than that. What exactly does your family do? Solène asked carefully. Import and export, like I mentioned. That's vague. It's complicated, Kang-Dae said, holding her gaze. My family has business interests that require discretion, but I promise you'll be safe. A waiter appeared with their appetizers. When he left, Solène asked quietly, Are you involved in something illegal? Kang-Dae's silence answered her question. I should leave right now, Solène whispered. You should, Kang-Dae agreed. But you won't, because Tristan isn't just spreading rumors, is he? He's actively sabotaging your business, Solène froze. How did you... I have resources, Kang-Dae said. Tristan's been contacting your clients, suggesting you're unstable, that your matches are fraudulent. He's been doing it for 3 months. The room seemed to tilt. Why would he do that? Because you're successful and he's not. Because small men destroy what they can't control. Kang-Dae leaned forward. But here's what he doesn't know. You have something he needs. What? Protection, Kang-Dae said. Stay with me, and Tristan won't touch you or your business again. What are you? Solène breathed. Someone who keeps his word, Kang-Dae said intensely. 3 months, Solène. Help me with my family. Let me handle Tristan. And when it's finished, we walk away cleanly. And if I refuse, then you fight Tristan alone. And we both know how that ends. Solène looked at the contract on her screen. Then she looked at Kang-Dae, this dangerous, beautiful stranger offering her a devil's bargain. She closed her laptop. Where do I sign? 2 days later, Kang-Dae's family home was in Brookhaven. A sprawling estate hidden behind iron gates and perfectly manicured gardens. Solène's palms were sweating as they walked up the stone steps. Relax, Kang-Dae murmured, his hand on her lower back. My mother will adore you. How can you be sure? Because you're brilliant, successful, and you don't let me get away with anything. He smiled. Everything she's been hoping for. The front door opened before they reached it. A woman in her 60s stood in the entrance, elegant in a silk hanbok, her hair perfectly styled, her eyes sharp and assessing. Ioma, Kang-Dae said softly. This is Solène Baptiste. Solène bowed, grateful she'd researched Korean etiquette. It's an honor to meet you, Mrs. Ryeo studied her for what felt like an eternity. Then she smiled. You're lovelier than your photographs. Please, come in. The interior was breathtaking. Traditional Korean artwork mixed with contemporary furniture. Everything expensive and tasteful. They ate dinner at a low table. Bulgogi, kimchi, banchan dishes Solène couldn't name but loved. Mrs. Ryeo asked questions in rapid Korean. Kang-Dae answered patiently. Finally, Mrs. Ryeo switched to English. My son tells me you're a matchmaker. Yes, ma'am. I've been running my own business for 5 years. How many successful matches have you made? 207. 15 are here in Atlanta. Solène met her gaze steadily. I believe in creating lasting partnerships, not just attraction, real compatibility. Mrs. Ryeo's expression softened. You understand commitment. I do. Good. Mrs. Ryeo set down her chopsticks. My son has never brought a woman to meet me. Not once. Do you understand what that means? Solène's throat tightened. It means he's serious, Mrs. Ryeo said, looking at Kang-Dae with sudden tenderness. Your father would have approved of her. Kang-Dae's hand found Solène's beneath the table. Squeezed. I know, he said quietly. After dinner, Mrs. Ryeo pulled Solène aside in the garden. He's not an easy man to love, she said bluntly. His business is dangerous, complicated, but his heart is good. I know, Solène lied. Do you? Mrs. Ryeo's gaze was penetrating. Or are you here because he's handsome and wealthy? Solène considered lying again, but something in Mrs. Ryeo's expression stopped her. I'm here, Solène said carefully, because your son makes me feel seen, like I matter, and I haven't felt that in a very long time. It was supposed to be part of the performance, but as the words left her mouth, Solène realized they were true. Mrs. Nasi, mild, Then you're exactly what he needs. 3 weeks into their arrangement, Solène realized she'd made a catastrophic mistake. Not because Kang-Dae was dangerous, but because she was falling in love with him. It started small. The way he remembered she took her coffee with oat milk and cinnamon. The way he appeared at her office with lunch when she was too buried in work to eat. The way he truly listened when she talked about her dreams, her fears, the things that kept her awake at night. They had rules. Separate apartments. No genuine intimacy. Business arrangement only. But Kang-Dae kept breaking them. Texting her good morning every day. Calling just to hear her voice. Showing up at her door with Thai food and a movie because he knew she'd had a difficult day. "We need to stop this," Solène said one evening, curled up on his couch watching some action film she wasn't following. "Stop what?" Kang-Dae's arm was draped around her shoulders, pretending we're just business partners. Kang-Dae went still. Solène sat up, looking at him. "We had an agreement. 3 months, then we walk away." "I know. So why does it feel like you're trying to make this real?" Kang-Dae's jaw clenched. "Because I am." The confession hung in the air between them. "You can't," Solène whispered. "This was supposed to be temporary. Safe." "Nothing about you is safe," Kang-Dae said, his voice rough. "You walked into my life by accident and turned my entire world upside down. I can't pretend any more." Kang-Dae, he kissed her. Not the performative kisses they'd shared for cameras. This was raw, desperate, real. When they broke apart, Kang-Dae pressed his forehead against hers. "Tell me you don't feel it too." Solène couldn't. Because she did. God help her, she did. Tristan appeared at Kang-Dae's office on a Tuesday afternoon. Kang-Dae was in a meeting when his assistant buzzed through. "Sir, there's a Tristan Hayes here to see you." "No appointment." Kang-Dae's blood ran cold. "Send him in." Tristan walked in like he owned the building. Expensive suit, rehearsed smile, the kind of confidence that came from never facing consequences. "Mr. Ryeo." Tristan extended his hand. "Thanks for making time for me." Kang-Dae didn't shake it. "What do you want?" "I think we started off poorly at the wedding," Tristan said, sitting without invitation. "I wanted to apologize. I don't accept." Tristan's smile tightened. "I also wanted to discuss business. I heard you're looking for legitimate investment opportunities." "Ryeo Estate. I have several properties that might interest you." "I know exactly which properties you have," Kang-Dae said, his voice like ice. "And I know how you acquired them." Tristan went pale. "You've been laundering money through fake wedding vendor accounts for 3 years, Kang-Dae continued, using Solène's clients, her business, her reputation. "I don't know what You owe my organization $2 million, Kang-Dae said, leaning back in his chair. "Money you stole. Money you thought no one would notice because you buried it in wedding deposits and vendor payments." Tristan's hands were shaking. "I can explain. I don't want explanations. I want my money." "I don't have it." "I'm aware," Kang-Dae said coldly. "Which is why I'm giving you 30 days. Sell your properties. Liquidate your assets. Or I go to the FBI with complete documentation of your money laundering operation." Tristan shot to his feet. "You're bluffing. Am I?" Kang-Dae pulled out his phone, opened a file, slid it across the desk. Tristan looked at the screen and lost all color. Bank records, transaction logs, everything. 30 days, Kang-Dae repeated. "And Tristan, if you ever speak to Solène again, if you even look in her direction, I'll make sure you don't just lose your money. You'll lose everything." Tristan stumbled toward the door. Then he stopped and turned back. "She's using you," he spat. "Solène. This whole engagement is fake. She hired an actor to play her boyfriend." "Did she tell you that?" Kang-Dae's expression didn't change. "I know." "What? I was the actor she hired." "The one who showed up at the wedding," Kang-Dae said, standing slowly. And yes, it began as a performance. But you know what the difference is between you and me, Tristan? Tristan said nothing. I saw Solène's value, Kang-Dae said, walking around the desk until he stood inches from Tristan. And you never did. Now get out of my building. Tristan left, but Kang-Dae could see it in his eyes. This wasn't finished. The blog post went live 3 days later. Atlanta matchmaker's engagement exposed as fraud, it read. Sources confirm Solène Baptiste hired professional escort to play boyfriend at recent society wedding. Questions raised about business practices and credibility. Solène saw it during her morning coffee. Her phone started ringing immediately. Clients? Colleagues? Friends asking if it was true. By noon, 3 couples had canceled their matchmaking contracts. By 5 p.m., a reporter was stationed outside her office. Solène sat at her desk watching her entire career collapse around her. Her phone buzzed. Kang-Dae, where are you? My office. Don't come here. The press is outside. I'm already in the lobby. Solène's heart lurched. She looked out the window and saw him emerging from a black car, walking toward the building entrance with the kind of authority that made crowds part. Reporters swarmed him immediately. Mr. Ryeo, is it true your engagement to Solène Baptiste is fake? Did you know she hired an escort? Is this a publicity stunt? Kang-Dae stopped, turned to face the cameras. I have a statement, he said clearly. No, Solène breathed. She ran for the stairs, flying down 3 flights, bursting through the lobby doors just as Kang-Dae began speaking. Solène Baptiste hired what she believed was a professional escort for a wedding. Kang-Dae said to the assembled reporters. She didn't know the service had made an error. She didn't know the man who appeared me wasn't actually from the escort company. Cameras flashed. I approached her under false pretenses. My family wanted to meet her. They arranged it without my knowledge, without hers, Kang-Dae continued. The engagement started as a misunderstanding, but somewhere between that first wedding and now, something shifted. Solène stopped at the edge of the crowd, unable to breathe. I fell in love with her, Kang-Dae said. Completely, terrifyingly. The kind of love that makes you want to become better, to build something real, to deserve the person standing across from you. He turned, found Solène in the crowd. Their eyes locked. I've built an empire on control and calculated risk, Kang-Dae said, still looking at her. But loving Solène, that's the most uncontrolled thing I've ever done. Solène's vision blurred with tears. She teaches people that authentic love requires honesty, vulnerability, choosing someone every single day, Kang-Dae said softly. Solène Baptiste, I choose you. Not because of any arrangement, not because my family wants it, because I can't imagine my life without you. He pulled a small box from his pocket, opened it. A diamond caught the afternoon light, a single stone, simple and perfect. No contract this time, Kang-Dae said. No terms, no arrangement. Just a question. Hecknote, the crowd gasped. Solène Baptiste, Kang-Dae said quietly. Will you marry me? For real? Solène's hands covered her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. Every rational part of her brain screamed that this was too fast, too public, too dangerous. But her heart knew the truth. She'd fallen in love with him weeks ago. Yes, she whispered. Then louder. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Solène closed the distance between them. Kang-Dae slid the ring onto her finger. Then he kissed her like they were the only 2 people in existence. The crowd erupted in applause. Cameras flashed, and Solène realized that sometimes the best love stories begin with a lie. The FBI arrested Tristan Hayes 2 days later. Kang-Dae had been cooperating with federal authorities for months, providing evidence, documentation, testimony. Tristan wasn't just laundering money through wedding vendors. He was running an entire criminal enterprise, and Kang-Dae had given the FBI everything they needed to dismantle it. Why didn't you tell me? Solène asked that night, curled up on Kang-Dae's couch. Because I needed you safe, Kang-Dae said, his fingers tracing patterns on her arm. If Tristan had known I was working with the authorities, he might have targeted you. You protected me. I'll always protect you, Kang-Dae said, kissing her forehead. Even when you don't know you need protecting. Solène's business recovered gradually. Some clients returned, apologizing for doubting her. New clients called, wanting the matchmaker whose own love story had gone viral. And through everything, Kang-Dae was there, supporting her, believing in her, loving her with an intensity that still took her breath away. Some love stories are planned, some are carefully matched, some are meticulously constructed, and some show up at the wrong wedding at exactly the right time and change everything. This is the story of a matchmaker who hired a fake boyfriend and discovered her real soulmate. Thank you for watching until the end. If this story moved you, inspired you, or took you somewhere unexpected, don't leave without hitting the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Make sure to drop a comment letting us know where in the world you're watching from. We're building a global community of story lovers here, and your voice matters. See you in the next one.